the Bold and Beautiful, July 16, 2025. First things first, hold on, what it did? First things first, let me know your thoughts on today's new episode down below. Did y'all like it? What are y'all thoughts about the whole alleged operation? I said, y'all ain't did squat. Y'all ain't did nothing. But yeah, I said, look here. Now I know with so time and because this is a show, maybe, they just did it behind the scenes. But I said, ain't no way. Ain't no doggone way. They done did nothing to Liam. She done sit up here and drew this line on him. I said, hold on, wait. Okay, I'm back, y'all. I said aside from yesterday's episode when I was telling y'all about all the red flags that was within that episode about this whole procedure, on today's episode, another red flag is she said the doctor dude, what she said his name was, we just gonna say Dr. O. She said Dr. O was the one performing the surgery. First of all, he wasn't even talking. They supposed to come in and update Bill. He was like, what did he say? It went good or something? I said, you supposed to tell with everything else. I said that was a red flag because she said that he was going to be the one performing the surgery. She went in there talking about some pass me the scalpel. So she performed the surgery. She ended up being the one, hold on. She ended up being the one to perform the surgery or whatever. Why is it not doing it? Hold on, y'all. To my pass her the scalpel and she drew a little line. I said she done drew a line and then sold him back up. I said she drew a line on Liam and sold him back up to make it look like she actually did something. Then gonna sit up here and tell Bill when they got in recovery to my son, it's a miracle. I said I bet it is. I said I bet it is a miracle. I bet he ain't have no doggone mass on his brain, or if he did have something, it left or something like that. Cause ain't no way y'all done perform no surgery that fast. And I said the second red flag is the fact that, let me see, don't they, when they doing surgery and stuff like that, even if it's experimental, don't they have a team? It was just them two in there. Unless I missed somebody. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know down below. But I was like, they know doggone well they ain't performing no surgery on this man. Look, she went in there for a split second and she cut him down the line on his head, on the side of his head. Next thing you know, she looking at the doctor dude looking at her. I said, y'all ain't did squat. She done came up out of here and told Bill. What she said? They done with the surgery. Let me see if I can find it. What she said? Grace told Bill that the procedure is over and Liam in recovery. And I said, y'all ain't did nothing. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. But okay, on today's episode, y'all. On today's episode, we're going to start with Bill, Liam, and Grace, Dr. Buckingham. So Bill was just checking on Liam. At this point, they was just preparing for the surgery or whatever. And Liam had questions. They was in some facility. Now, at first, I thought they were still at the hospital because the background looked like the hospital still. But yeah, they was in some facility, and Liam mentions that. He was like, we in some facility, and we don't know who the doctor is. And I said, we still don't know. Because he didn't talk. He ain't said much of nothing. I said, they know doggone well this man ain't did nothing, and he probably ain't no real doctor. I said, who she done went paid? She done paid somebody, done drew this line on this man, cut him open just to sew him back up and be like, yeah, talking about something. It's a miracle. I said, you ain't did nothing to this man. I said, Bill, they done conned you out $1 million, because ain't no way. Y'all watch the episode, let me know. Excuse me. Golly, got choked up, talking noise and stuff. Hold up. Let me see. But yeah, like I said, B was just checking on Liam, and the doctor hadn't came in yet. Grace ends up coming in. She was like, she believes in the procedure and her colleague. She believes it's gonna be a success or whatever. Then I think, did he come in at that point? I want to say he came in at that point, and she introduced him. What she said his name was? Dr. Alacardi, Offcardi, Alacardi. I don't know. Dr. O. We gonna say Dr. O. And he wasn't saying enough for me. If you finna sit up here and cut somebody's brain open, cut their head open or whatever, don't you supposed to say something? He ain't said nothing. He went then, when Leon got in recovery, Bill asked him how it went. I think he said it went good, it went well or something. Bill was like, that's all you had to say? So Grace doing all the talking. I said, she done went found somebody on the street, done paid this man. Now I don't know. People are talking about how it was real and they think that Leon gonna turn out to be a different person. I said, I don't think it was real. They didn't show enough for me. Now on the promo, it looked like it was a bunch of people standing around them and stuff like that. Like they was actually doing real surgery. The only thing we seen, or I seen, maybe y'all seen more, she went down the side of this man's head, and that was it. And next thing you know, she walking out, and she looked like she was disappointed or something like that. But then she told me, "So he in recovery. It's a miracle. We just gotta wait on him." But also, when they was in the little surgery room, allegedly, Leon started to, like, it looked like he was about to wake up. I was like, I wonder what he heard, if he heard anything or seen anything, because he sure looked like he was about to wake up, y'all. But yeah, let me see. Let me see. It was something else. Talking about some doggone. It's a mirror. Girl, get out this man's face. Oh, why the doctor had came or whatever, and I think the doctor was over there by Liam or something. And Grace was like, she need to talk to Bill. Tell me, so the payment is due as soon as possible or whatever. I said, I bet it is. I bet it is. Then they supposed to show her looking at the $1,000,000. I said, does she owe somebody or was she just trying to get the money? Like, what is it? Like, I'm confused at this point. But I know ain't nothing, something ain't right. I was saying nothing right. That's something wrong. I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no doggone way. But yeah, she told Bill that the payment is due as soon as possible or whatever. He's like, I told you already, money's no option. I just want you to save my son. I just want my son to be saved or whatever. So I wrote down, I said, I thought the surgery, because she told me passed me the scalpel. And I was like, he ain't do nothing. They just looking at each other and stuff. I was like, Bill, you done been bamboozled. You done been tricked. You done been fooled and made a fool of, because ain't no way. Ain't no doggone way they don't did no surgery. Bill ends up having the money transferred or whatever. And he started talking to guys saying, if you want to take someone, take me, not his son, and all this other stuff. So by that time, Grace ends up coming out. Hold on. Excuse me. By that time, Grace ends up coming out, and Bill was asking her how everything went. How's Liam doing? She told my son, the procedure is over and Liam's in recovery. I said, y'all ain't did nothing. Doggone well, you ain't did nothing. So they go in the room. He goes to see Liam. He's trying to talk to him, and she was basically saying, he hasn't woke up yet and all this other stuff. She said the tumor has been removed, and he was like, what? Now, first she was saying, it would be basically impossible and all this other stuff. And she told me, it was a miracle. The doctor over there, he said, what he said? He said a couple words. He said about 2-3 words. He said about 2 to 3 words and went over there and like he typing on the doggone computer thing. And Bill noticed that. Bill said something, but then yeah, he was just happy that Liam made it out of surgery or whatever. And Grace talking about something, it's a miracle, whatever she said. I was like, yeah, another red flag is the fact that they didn't have no team. Where the team at? Now, I know this is a show or whatever, so everything ain't gonna be, like it's supposed to be. But at the same time, I just feel like they just got $1,000,000 out of him. She probably got to split the money with the dude. Look, I'm calling it. That was fake. Ain't no way. I don't think Liam, either he wasn't sick or he was and they had already left or something, or either she made him sick. That's why she always watching. Even when Bill was talking to Liam again, she watching. And I was like, yeah, she up to something. She is up to something. I said, they could come up with anything. They just always got to make, never mind. Hold on. I just feel like it could be better. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. But yeah, don't sit up here. I was like, dude, ain't no way they did no surgery, man. Who else we got? Bridget, Finn, and Poppy. Poppy, that's I can't believe I almost forgot about that. And I don't think I said it in my TikTok video. I don't think I said this part about Poppy. I didn't. I don't think I said it. I think I mostly talked about Bill and the Liam situation. But yeah, we got to talk about Poppy, because how the world, she over here. I said, Steffi, you got another problem on your hand, because why is she over here in your man's face? Why you just said you ain't care if your daughter was there. You ain't got nothing to talk about with him. Nothing. I don't want to hear none of that about, they had a child together. Ain't no way. It's y'all planning a funeral and you wanted to come talk to him. Even with that, you shouldn't have had nothing to say or whatever. Over here trying to get Finn back. That's what she trying to do, trying to talk to him, and now she got tears. You ain't had tears when it was told to you that your daughter had died, but you got tears when you over here talking to Finn. Why are you talking to Finn, girl? Well, yeah, Bridget, Finn, and Poppy. Bridget ends up asking Finn if he's checked on Liam. He was like, not right now. He hasn't checked on him. He dealing with other patients and stuff like that, but he gonna go check on him. Poppy ends up stopping by, tells Finn that Luna loved him the way that she wanted to be loved, and she just started crying and stuff. She started crying, talking about some she regrets, out of everything, she regrets not telling Luna about Finn or Finn about Luna. I forgot which way she said it. I was like, girl, where was the tears when Lee said she died? And I know sometimes, everybody don't process things the same way. Because when people die, I don't be crying. I don't know. I just don't. Hold on, y'all. I don't. So I understand that people don't be crying like that, but she full of crap. She full of crap. She over here trying to be in Finn's face and stuff, crying, and he seen it. He was asking her what she doing there. I said, I want to know the same thing. Why is you over here? I was like, Steffi, you got another problem on your hands, because why is she over here? You ain't been showing up. Excuse me. I said, back away. I said, Finn. But yeah, then she started trying to ask him how he feel and stuff like that. I said, your sister already been checking on him. You don't need to check on him. Go on somewhere. I said, go on somewhere, girl. But yeah, let's see, what else did she say? She was just crying and stuff, and she was like, she thinks that Finn hate her, and I was like, what's going on? I was like, what's going on now? I said, why is she over here asking him all this? Then she was like, she feels the loss or whatever, and she know Finn's feel it too. Finn's feel it too. Lord have mercy, I don't combine the words together. She said she know that Finn feels the loss as well. And I said, girl, what you trying to prove over here? Because my son, she feel the loss and stuff like that. She wanted him to comfort her or something. What the world going on? But yeah, let's see. What else happened with Poppy? She was just questioning him about how he feels, and he was like, he hates the way she grew up and stuff like that. And of course, he feels some type of way. But they both was talking about all the things that Luna had did and the people that she murdered and stuff like that. Let's see. Poppy ends up saying how she feels guilty. And I said, now you feel guilty? Now you feel guilty? I don't agree with them fully blaming her for Luna running around trying to murder folks or whatever. And then, like she said, she tried to set her up. What y'all thought? Like, I think that's a big problem. I think people need to stop pushing their narrative on folks. People doing stuff like that, and y'all talking about, so yeah, but that's still your, X, Y, and Z. Don't nobody care once you do that type of stuff, or you shouldn't anyways. They ain't nothing to play with. That lady could be sitting in jail for life or whatever. So I get it. I definitely get it. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like I don't, because a lot of people were saying that. They was like, oh, this and that. But she tried to set her up. Now, for her to say, she glad she did, she probably shouldn't have said that out loud, but we know she probably was thinking it. We know she was probably thinking it, though. But, so Bridget goes, she ends up asking April where Liam is, and she was like, he's with Bill, and Dr. Buckingham signed off on it. So she ends up going to Finn and telling Finn that Liam is gone and that Dr. Buckingham signed off on it or whatever. I said, wait till Stephanie and Ho find out. Because they already was over there talking about how they don't agree with Liam staying with Bill because, he responsible for Luna getting out of jail and all this other stuff. I knew Liam was going on his daddy right there or whatever. But I'm ready for them to actually say if Liam ever had a mask for real or not. Because she hiding something. That's what them phone, I told you. I said something about them phone calls. Somebody phone calling her. Somebody was calling her. Y'all remember that episode? And I said, they about to do a storyline because somebody calling her or whatever. And Finn was checking on her. But yeah, what's the last thing? I already said Bridget tell Finn that Liam is gone. And he's supposed to say, that's unusual. In fact, they had to sneak out the hospital because they were saying how he just had surgery. He's going to need time to recover or whatever. And the last people who got is Hope, Carter, Stephanie, and Brooke. They would just talk about the same thing. Luna dying, and Stephanie was saying how she's not going to shed a tear. Now, at first, she started, what did she say? Stephanie said something. I was like, wait a minute now, Stephanie, you feel sorry for her? But then she said she wasn't going to shed no tear because, everything that she did. She's still repeating that, Liam saved her life and everything. Is there something else? I know Carter asked about the impact Luna's death had on Finn, and I was like, I don't think he actually started to grieve or deal with his emotions yet. He too busy making sure that Steffi don't see that he got emotions about his daughter dying or whatever. Hold on. Let me see if it's something else. Steffi says Luna wasn't holding it. Oh, that's what it was. Steffi was talking to them saying, that's the thing. Luna wasn't actually holding the weapon on her most of the time. And when she was just trying to get her to listen and stuff like that. I said, I said, you making excuses for her? Either way, once you pull that weapon out, I think you a threat. I don't care. You a threat. You trying to take her out. She was going to take you out, girl. Either way it go. I said, she run around putting them doggone bullet holes in them photos and stuff. You was a goner regardless. She also said in that moment that the best way they could have a relationship with Finn and Hayes is if she out the way. How you think that was going to happen? She was definitely going to take you out, girl. You thought she was playing? She wasn't playing. Wait a minute. Let me see. I think that was it, y'all. I already said Carter asked about the impact Luna's death had on Finn. And I'm about to do the General Hospital review because I already watched it too, y'all. Let me see. Let's see. But I'm going to do it in a separate video. Bridget tell Finn that Liam is gone. Grace, yeah. Bill transfers money. Yeah, I think that was it with Steffi now. Steffi said she's not going to shed a tear now that Luna's gone. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode. Stay tuned for the next video. Until next time, deuces. Have a girls today and be safe.